Alright, we're going to read today from Tim O'Brien's The Things They Carried. I haven't read this since high school, but I remember it was a totally awesome book. It was the first book that I actually read from cover to cover in my entire life. And I think that this is the first thing that really actually sparked my interest in reading, even though I didn't pursue reading until like 3 years later, or literature or anything at all involving words. But I love this book. It's really a guy's book. It's very graphic and violent. About Vietnam. For those of you who've never read it, you should pick it up and read it, unless you're easily offended, in which case I would advise you not to do so. But if you can look past that, Tim O'Brien's a great author, and there's great stories in here. Really, really good book. So anyway, I'm going to read. I'm actually going to kind of jump around a little because I just like what he says about stories and kind of his perception of stories through these experiences that he talks about. So here we go. The thing about a story is that you dream it as you tell it, hoping that others might then dream along with you. And in this way, memory and imagination and language combined to make spirits in the head. There is the illusion of aliveness. We keep the dead alive with stories. Other stories are passed down like legends from old-timer to newcomer. Mostly, though, we make up our own. Often they are exaggerated or blatant lies, but it is a way of bringing body and soul back together, or a way of making new bodies for the souls to inhabit. So I really like this idea of death, and that through stories we create new bodies for the dead, and in that way they become living again, and more than just living, but eternally living, because they will forever be in that story all through the end of time. And so I really like how just with putting some words on a page, even if it doesn't sound good, because of that language, now the person that no longer exists can exist again and can exist forever. Forever. And it's totally mind-blowing. I was actually looking for something else in here, and I came across that passage, or those two passages, and I was just like, oh, definitely, I love that. It is, and even if the stories aren't true, like I said, sometimes they're blatant lies, but it still is a representation of what our experiences with that individual represent to us. Even if the story you're telling about somebody is a complete fabrication, it was inspired by them, and because of that, they will now be able to inhabit that fictional story because of what they have, how they have influenced your life. And I just thought that was totally amazing. Oh, I loved it. So I just want to share that with you guys today, and I don't know if I'm going to film anymore today. Probably. Maybe. Sure. Woo! Yeah, that looks like a monstrosity. That's because it is. There is less than 1 month till the Roadshow, and that's as good as our sets are looking. And those over there, if you watch our other channel, you've seen this stuff before. Yeah. Uncovered, unpainted sets. Oh, I'm so stressed. I don't even know what to say. I'm having a good time, and I like that I get to finally build stuff, because I haven't built anything in a long time since a sculpture class I took, like, when I was 20 in college. Anyway. But now, we got less than a month to go, and I'm not anywhere close to being done. But hopefully this week, actually, we're going to have, excuse me, we're going to have a practice meeting, whatever, this Wednesday and Friday. We're going to actually work on the set, so hopefully we'll actually get a lot of the sets done then, so that, excuse me, we can be using them on stage, and that we can actually start doing real run-throughs with the whole crew, and even get it so that the kids are doing the cues, because we have 2 stage managers, one on each side of the stage and each wing, so that way they can be in charge of it, and we can just, because we're not going to really be that involved when the performance is actually going on, because we can't be, well, I guess we can, but not as well, because I'm going to be doing the lighting, and I think Steph's going to be making sure that the music's going smoothly, so we're not going to really be backstage with the kids as much as we'd like to be. So anyway, I'm just, oh man, there's not very much time left for it. I mean, today's the 29th, and our performance is the 24th of April, and I do not think we are ready for it. At least I'm not ready for it. I feel like the kids are almost ready for it. They're doing really well on their lines. I mean, they're doing really well up at, I thought, and tomorrow, actually, they're going to do a practice and finish learning all their dances, so maybe I'll show you some footage from that. But it's just happening so fast. I mean, we started working on this like at the middle of January. That's when I started writing the script and everything, and I thought that this would go a lot less quickly. I thought it would kind of be more of a slower process, but it is just, it has just come up so quickly. I cannot believe how little time we have left to work on this. It's absolutely insane, and I know that the wife feels the same way. And it seems like that's all we do every day. Like today, I was working on the thing that I moved that I showed you earlier. I was working on that and putting in the doweling because we have to be able to move the sets, because the way it works is we're going to do it at one building, and then we're going to take all the sets down and everything and travel to another building and do the performance again all in one night. And so the sets have to be able to come apart or be small enough so that we can transport them back and forth. And so I designed a set so that it comes apart in a few different areas so that it's small enough to be able to transport, and that when we put it back together on stage, it's this just one big piece. It's the witch's house. So I'm hoping that that all works out, but I'm really stressed because I'm afraid that it's not going to work at all, and then I have no idea what I'm going to do, because we spent the last like month designing this and starting to put this stuff together, and I don't know what I'm going to do if it doesn't work. I'm thinking it's going to work. I'm mostly afraid of getting it to stand up and the part where it separates at the door, and I'll show you guys that later once we start working on that part. But I don't know. It's crazy. I'm just hoping it comes together. It's going to come together. I know it is, because the kids are great and we've been working really hard on it. It's just, I want it to come together, and then we get to practice for another month and then do the performance instead of it. It's all going to come together, and then like the day before the performance, and then it's going to be great, the performance night. But that's just so much more stressful than being able to have time to practice with everything all together and just fine tune everything. So anyway, that's all on my mind for the last week, and that's all that's going to be on my mind until the end of April is the Roadshow. And, you know, whatever. I hope you guys enjoy all the things I get to show you. Anyway, that's all for today, and peace out. There's an ugly statue thing, sculpture.